Hi everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today is a topic that I got from one of my wonderful subscribers, Nikki Loves Life 4841. She gave me this idea about 4 months ago, and I am so sorry that I'm just now getting to it. It's not that I forgot, I am just now getting to it. Plus, I wanted to look a little bit more into what you were suggesting. I guess it's another young lady that you listen to who makes suggestions that darker skinned black women are not able to get love from a man. And this actually ties into a topic that I wanted to do some time ago. I'm talking about over a year ago. And I even did a poll on my community page. I don't know if I did or not, but it was on my mind, where I said, who keeps the colorism topic going in the black community? Is it men or is it the women? And one thing that I found interesting, I did do a poll. Most people said it was the women. And I had to agree with that, because when you look at women of other cultures, I'm talking about other brown cultures who have dark-skinned people within their communities, a lot of times it is the other women who denigrate the darker-skinned woman, or they project their own insecurities onto other women when it comes to dark skin. I've seen women in brown races saying things, not seen, I've actually heard them say this: put a hat on, put some sunscreen on, don't stay out in the sun too long because your skin will get too dark, etc., etc. Now, does that mean that men do not fall under, the colorism trap? Oh, they most definitely do. I remember my mother telling me this way back in the 70s. Yeah, I'm old, y'all. But I remember hearing my mother say, black men prefer lighter skinned women. And she used to say some variation of, the lighter they are, the closer to white they look is, that's who they really want. And that is kind of disheartening to me, because I don't know why so many black women tend to focus so hard on men who may not find them attractive. Quick tangent. My mother used to have men pursuing her like crazy back in the day. So, and she's a dark-skinned woman. She was, a little girl in the 50s when colorism really was blatant and ugly and in your face. I've mentioned on my channel before that most very dark-skinned women that I know personally, like very, very dark-skinned women, they either have a husband, or if they don't have a husband, they always keep a man. And in some cases, the same man decade after decade. So it's sad to me that so many dark-skinned black women have internalized this thing that they're not wanted or desirable. And I know as a woman, we want to be desired. That is, even the Bible says something about a woman being fair to look upon. And I'm not talking about her skin tone. I'm talking about her countenance. Is she pretty in the face? Another thing that I have noticed about a lot of black women, particularly online, they only seem to take validation for their dark skin, their more Negro features, their textured hair from a white man. If a white man tells a dark-skinned black woman that she's pretty or beautiful, she will gladly accept that. But if a black man tells her that, it's like she's skeptical. And as I've told a lot of you before, being a black woman, a girl in the 70s, we did not have the black female representation that we have today. Particularly dark-skinned, pretty, vulnerable, a baddie, has, a nice life going for herself. We didn't have that in the 70s, and we barely had it in the 80s. So in my opinion, Black women really can't complain in today's age when we've come so far in, certain arenas. And as I've said before, when I was a girl growing up, we had Florida from Good Times. Thelma don't count. She was probably the only one that we could kind of look at and be like, oh, she bad. She's real pretty. But we had Florida. We had Dee, rest in peace to the actress, Danielle Spencer. We just lost her a few months ago. We had her mother. Again, I can't even rattle off that many Black women that I remember from my youth. And a lot of times when it was a Black woman, on TV, she was a prostitute, she was a criminal, she was the bad girl of the TV show. Just no good representations for Black women. So going back to this idea that dark-skinned Black women can't be loved, unlovable, not desirable. And I'm going to show y'all some examples of dark-skinned women who have husbands or are about to get a husband. So it is a whole bold-faced lie that dark-skinned Black women are not getting married and can't get married. But I also have to say a lot of Black women are also internalizing whatever trauma that they might have went through as a girl growing up. Because I know that Black people can be very harsh when it comes to skin tone, African booty scratcher, Black and ugly, Black nappy and ugly, fugly. We come up with all of these kinds of names for, dark-skinned people. And yes, I've heard that light-skinned women has gone through too, but this isn't what that topic is about. And this also goes back to a topic that I have brought up multiple times on my channel, and that is consider the love of a father during a girl's formative years. That is something that a lot of Black women in our communities did not get growing up. The vast majority of us grew up without a father. And when people try to scratch their head about why are people so concerned about a dad being in the house, I don't understand why y'all don't get it. Because little girls grow up to be adult women. And a lot of times if that trauma of not being enveloped in your dad's arms and being told that you're loved and that you're pretty, that's going to affect you later. And I think that it's unfortunate that so many dark-skinned Black women are not getting the attention and the praise that they needed as little girls. So you find a lot of these women, once they get older and have unresolved issues due to their skin tone, they look for other alternatives to find that validation and that attention. And oftentimes it comes out in the form of, I'm a boss, I'm independent, I'm going to be promiscuous, all of these things that are typically not conducive to, a proper married life, for example, later on. So that was my topic for today. And tell me what you think about the fact that this is 2025 and we still have the colorism debate. And I'll talk to you later.